Hi, I'm John Pavlak. Welcome back to Ion Harness Racing, presented by Trackmaster. The Cane Pace, the first leg of the Pacing Triple Crown, will be raced at Tioga Downs this coming Monday, Labor Day. Captain Treacherous, the likely favorite, won't be alone behind the starting gate. His trainer, Tony Alagna, decided to send out an entry mate, Wake Up Peter, and spoke to our Ken Weingartner about the decision.
What's it going to take for him, to break through?
I think that if something works out and he gets a decent draw, he's very trippy, but he can pace with anything. And if he gets a clear shot at him, and he showed that in the North America Cup, he showed that in the Breeders' Crown last year. I mean, he's definitely that kind of horse. But things have to go his way a little bit, and so far nothing's went his way. The chance he had to have a win was in the Jersey Sires. He went off a 1-9 and made a break behind the gate. So just can't get things to go his way. But the horses like that, it seems like everything finally starts to turn the corner, and he'll have a good little run hopefully the rest of the year. There hasn't been anything wrong with the horse physically. If I could say there was a physical thing that was holding the horse up, but he's just had, he's been a victim of poor posts and bad trips, and things haven't went his way. But it'd be different if he wasn't, in good shape, because when he gets the chance to, materialize on a good post or a decent trip, he shows up. So, it's nothing wrong with the horse. It's just the way things have been shaken out for him.
Sorry, didn't mean to ignore you, but I've got something here on my iPad I want to show you. Something new from Hoofbeats just for you. It's our all-new edition of Hoofbeats Direct. If you have an iPad such as this, an Android tablet, any device that gets to the internet, you'll have this. The nice thing about it, whereas before it was simply a PDF file that showed a picture of all the pages, every one of these, you saw the links come up, is a link directly to a story. Hoofbeats Direct will come with special content, links to slideshows, and video, for example, interviews with the newsmakers each month. Things you'll find nowhere else. They'll be exclusive to you and your copy. And the best thing is, if you have Hoofbeats delivered to your home each and every month, you can have the online version, as you see here, at no additional charge. But you do need to have an online services account. Visit myaccount.ustrotting.com to register. Royalty for Life didn't have to travel far to win the $360,000 Zweig Memorial Trot this past Sunday. This year's Hambletonian winner resides on the Vernon Downs backstretch, and so it seemed that having to start from post position 9 would be of little or no handicap, and so it was. Driver Brian Sears nursed him through unchallenging fractions that resulted in a front-stepping 153-1 win, the Colts' 5th victory in 9 races this year.
They're off the turn into the payoff patch, down along the inside with the advantage. Royalty for Life coming back to life in the final furlong. Closing is Corky, but Royalty for Life and Brian Sears.
I believe they let you get off that easy on the front end. Were you surprised?
Tonight behind the gate, he was a little extra quiet. He actually had the earplugs out, and usually when he does get to the front, he wants to pick up the pace on his own and take off. But he's pretty docile, and the wind's picking up a little bit out there. So I'm just gonna say, I don't know, we stole it.
How did he feel tonight compared to the way he felt maybe at the Meadowlands or recently for you?
I don't think he was 100% tonight. He was, like I said, he was extra docile, extra quiet. But when I called on him down the backside to pick it up, he did.
In the $150,000 filly division, driver David Miller moved Mystery Woman to the top at about the half, and from there to a 152-1 victory, which lowered the daughter of Donato Hanover's life mark by nearly 1 full second.
Along the inside, Royal Assets. Coming hard and fast on the outside is Mystery Woman for Dave Miller. Mystery Woman is scooting in the stretch and comes on to win.
The $650,000 Canadian Pacing Derby this coming Saturday sets up to be a slam-bang affair if this past weekend's $40,000 eliminations were any indication. Bolt the Doer won his in 148-1, and here in the other elimination, a rock and roll dance escorted by Tim Tetrick got to the 3/4 in 121-1 and then lowered the Canadian record to a sparkling 147-3.
Paddock is up off cover, and Clear Vision wants some racetrack on the far outside as they come into the final eighth of the mile. Still there with the lead is a Rock and Roll Dance. Clear Vision's got the most late pace on the outside as he's storming home. Here is a Rock and Roll Dance trying to hold off Clear Vision.
Trackmaster, along with TVG and the USTA, would like to announce the $5,000 Big Five Harness Handicapping Challenge. Free to enter and free to play, there will be 5 weekly chances to participate every Saturday from August 10th through September 7th. 5 finalists advance each week by making 5 wagers from any of our 5 featured tracks. Trackmaster will be providing free programs and handicapping data to contest participants, and with $5,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs in the finals on September 14th, you won't want to miss it. Visit Trackmaster.com to register and find out more.
Trackmaster has again provided us with platinum picks for the Ion Harness Racing Race of the Week. Here are this week's Trackmaster Platinum picks. This week's edition of Paul's Paddock Picks from Paul Ramlow.
A Super Stakes card this Saturday at Mohawk Racetrack is highlighted by the Canadian Pacing Derby final for the top free-for-allers in the sport. I think one thing we've learned this year is you can never rule out anything when it comes to the free-for-allers. On paper, you have to look at a Rock and Roll Dance and Bolt the Doer, who both won their eliminations last weekend, but you also have the 4-horse Ron Burke entry that you can't overlook. Foiled again as the defending champion in this race. It wouldn't surprise me if he come out and pull off the upset again this week. Sweet Lou from the Rail will also be a horse to be heard from. And you never know about Pet Rock from the Virgil Morgan stable. He has the 8-hole this week, but he paced an awful fast last quarter in finishing 4th in his elimination last week. In other words, it's a wide open race. It's hard to pick a horse, but I'll go with the hot horse and say a Rock and Roll Dance wins the Canadian Pacing Derby. I'm Paul Ramlow for Paul's Paddock Picks.
That's it for this week. I'd like to thank Paul Ramlow and Ken Weingartner for their contributions to this week's show. Next week, Heather Dodds will be in to focus on the Credit Winner and Muscle Hill, a pair of stakes that showcase older trotters. I'm John Pavlak. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to make Ion Harness Racing a regular Thursday viewing habit.